breed. Those are the new truck drivers. Those are the new guys. He says, we call them steering wheel holders. They just, sit there. I was like, man. So a couple times I saw that happen where a guy was gonna in the right lane. I'm in the left. He wanted to come over. I made sure I got up on just to his rear wheels. I told my wife, he ain't moving over now. It's like, and then we'll accelerate. We get past him. I said, if he does, it's going to cost him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no courtesy. It's crazy.
Terrible.
Yeah. Truck drivers used to be the most reliable people out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw a guy. Yeah, I saw a guy with a double trailer, and he was literally. They were just like swerving down the road, like it was like he was doing like he was doing a lane test or something. But both boxes were just swerving back and forth. It's like, what the hell's going on, man?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the other guys in real quick.
Good.
What's up?
Hey, Keith.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. There's Paul.
Hey, Paul. I haven't seen Paul in a while.
Jim.
There's Jim.
Paul getting chug points there. I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm getting what?
Chug points.
Where's
Ever
Brian?
notice you watch a NASCAR race and they're interviewing somebody and they always got a bottle of soda in their hand and the name it always faces the camera? Paul Chug points.
Yep.
So I'm glad to hear you guys had a good time up at Argo. I'm going to make it back up there again.
Next October of 2026. Pam Bondi said, I heard the story she said.
Did you guys freeze up? No.
Yeah, I did.
Really? Oh, you did.
Yep.
Okay.
He's his
Yeah,
back and shirt.
I never noticed that.
On the FBI, and one that now has to be fully.
All right, that's it for my shirt to show off.
A lot of it occurred during Trump's first.
Yeah, Ray, by the way,
really weak.
we can hear Hannity in the background.
Yeah, whose TV's on?
Yeah, it's mine.
Emails that would show.
Hang on a
I
second.
don't know what he's watching, and I heard the cinder block move. I was like, oh, it's Hannity.
They can hear the TV. Yeah, it's my wife. We're in a hotel room, so
Oh.
if I would have still been at the Airbnb, I had a back screen porch I could have been in. That's what I was hoping for, but we left this morning. All right,
Ryan's
quiet.
invisible. Ryan showed up invisible.
It's changed to 5.
Ah.
Yeah, Paul, we were talking about you quite a bit this weekend up at Arcos.
Did you see my picture proudly displayed in his shop?
Yeah, and we were talking about the because Lewis was up there with his bus, so we were talking a lot about the Raise the Roof and who was working on that. You were very involved in that one.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I was involved. I think there's quite a bit of video of me.
Oh yeah.
Some happy mood, some in not so happy mood.
That's all right. We love you either way.
I don't know who was holding the camera when I said get the fucking camera out my face.
I didn't see that one.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had a good time up there. Like I said, the weather was good. People were good. It was a pleasure meeting the son. Bill?
I'm glad the weather was good. When I was there a couple years ago, the show was Saturday. I got up Sunday morning to leave, and there was frost on my car.
Wow.
It's August, and there was frost on my car. I'm sorry. It's too soon to be getting cold.
Yeah. It did get cold at night, though. It dropped down.
Yeah.
So, Paul, what do you say you're going the new shop in FL? I think it says FL. Late October. Is that Florida? What was that?
Yes, Florida, St. Florida.
Where are you going to be in Florida?
St. Augustine.
Oh, St. Augustine. Okay, that's not too far.
Okay.
Check it out.
Who had the American? Hey, I'm just happening to wear one of his shirts. The American Coventry. He's relocating to Florida.
Oh, okay.
My trips to make him back to Maryland are basically done, and the trip will be to Florida now. which is
Okay.
Will that be
Yeah.
closer for you?
Yeah, it's a lot closer.
Good.
It's basically 5
Good, good.
And tomorrow morning, I are Nebraska for the Rod and Cup Hall of Fame at Speedway 15. So they're supposed to have a really big cars and coffee Saturday morning, and then rugby ceremony Saturday afternoon. Nice dinner, and a couple people talking.
Cool.
Nice, nice. So when does that move?
Oh, go ahead.
Wait,
I'm just-
When does that move
No, you
happen? Paul?
What's this?
When is the move happening?
Greg should be up and running by 1st of November,
Okay.
maybe mid October. I had to back out of going to SEMA this year, so I'm sorry I'm going to miss everybody at SEMA.
Mhm.
But the Wrenching for the Future at Rankin University is the same time as SEMA.
Is it? Man, that's a bad time to have it.
Well, I guess that's the kind of the date that they've already set for Vegas. So I guess we can't ask SEMA to change just because of Wrenching for the Future.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. Brian, what's going on?
Not much. Just trying to dodge all the hits. That's all.
Yeah.
Here we go, Brian. Did you get it?
I got my Typhoon too. Yep.
And should I keep it in the box or should I open it? Does it
No.
matter?
No. How many did you get? Just the one?
Just 2. No, I got 2.
Yeah.
This one isn't open, and then I have this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Some
got
people said they got like 5. They ordered 5, and they actually got them.
Yeah.
on one
Well,
account.
they have different. Well, I don't know.
One guy's like, "Oh
They're-
yeah, I
they're-
got so far. He's got 3 on one account." He's like, "I got 2 more coming." I'm like, "Okay, we'll see."
I don't know. Every time I try, I get caught because I'll put 2 in my shopping cart, and then I
Yeah.
come back and check out with 2, and then I come back to get the other 2, and they'll tell me I'm over my limit.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'll actually go through, and then like 3 days later, I'll get an email saying, "Hey, whoa, you ordered too many."
Yeah, I heard somebody that said they ordered like 4, and the whole order was canceled, and so they didn't get any.
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, this is on previous ones." So I'm like, "All right, well, I don't want to risk that."
Yeah.
I'll make sure
Now
I
let
do
me
get
ask
it.
you this: Can you go on their site and look for all the different cars that they
Yeah.
have?
But they still, they show all of them, and then you have to. It's on the one. They'll tell you if they're still available or not, if they've been sold. If
Yeah,
they're
but
sold.
and then when you try to buy it, it'll say you have to be part of the club, right? RLC club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can search for just about any car you're looking for, right?
Oh, you mean like any of the regular? I don't think so.
Well, no, not the regular. This is all club pieces.
Or is it?
This is the RCL club pieces,
The special ones.
and that's the ones. Like I said, what they had, what they made that way. So
Yeah, this is what, $25 or something, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like $25 for a freaking Hot Wheels car.
They know you. They know they got you.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I could probably resell it for probably like 27 right now.
Hey, Joey.
But you'll lose
Hey.
you'll lose $10 on.
Oh yeah,
going
the
through your-
shipping.
Yeah, you'll end up losing $10. So don't. I mean,
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep that until I don't know later.
How's it going, guys?
Your kids throw all the shit away. Hey, Joey, what's up?
Hey, Joey.
Look at this, toss it.
I'm trying to figure out how to go full screen on an iPad.
I'm gonna call it a night on you guys. I'm gonna get up early and start my trip up to Lake.
All right, Paul. Have a safe trip, man. Be careful.
Good seeing you,
have a
Paul.
safe trip while
Take care,
I'm
Paul.
on the road too, Lewis.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, take care, my friends.
All right, take it easy.
What's up, people?
Haven't seen you in a while.
Huh?
Haven't seen you in a while.
I've been in prison.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Somebody had to be there.
Yeah, hey, you know, some guys, they need a little discipline in their life. And so I went in there to straighten them all out.
There you go.
I'm joking. I wasn't in prison. I've just been busy.
Good thing.
This thing keeps telling me I need to go to a different browser, like Chrome.
Yeah, this, I'm using an iPad. I've never used one. And
Me
the
either.
screen is so small on here.
There should be a little box on the corner with an arrow in it.
No, not on this iPad. There ain't. I've hit every button and I've messed it up and had to figure out how to get back.
Tap on the screen and see if it pops up.
Yeah, it ain't doing it.
Difficult to say what's a Colombian flavor. Well, good luck.
That's all right.
Yeah, it comes through here fine.
No biggie. Everybody's dinging my freaking phone, including Bill Cameron.
Lucky
So
man.
you got to go on YouTube, Studio Hot Rod. The guy's name's Harry. He's building some nice Chevelles, man. Really nice.
What type of builds, Lewis?
He's building all kind of cars, but the Chevelles is his main hit. You gotta check him out.
What vein are they built in? Are they built like, his resto mods or stock or what?
Both.
Okay.
Mostly resto mods, but he's doing a lot of interior, like the consoles. He's putting cup holders in them, and he's doing a lot of 3D work.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice stuff. So if you get a chance, check him out.
Who here needs something cut on a CNC plasma table? Lewis, there's one hand. Who else?
Hey, he's a
Not
close customer too.
Yeah,
Hey, it's all about friends and family pricing, okay?
sounds good. I'd like to get a placard for my grill on the bus.
Oh, for the front there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now, we got about probably 45% of the table built today. We're going to hit it again tomorrow evening. Taking a break for Saturday because we got tractor shows and car shows to do. And Sunday, we're going to hit it again. And my worker is predicting it will be up and running by Wednesday.
Nice.
I hope he's right. But the gantry part had to be completely assembled out of like 4 different boxes of stuff. Then you had to match up all the wiring for all the plugs, and thankfully they labeled every wire and every plug. But the way this thing is built is like an army tank, man. It is massive and built very well. I think it's going to be a great investment for the shop.
Good.
Have you seen that Arc Droid?
Huh?
Have you seen that Arc Droid? The little like tabletop thing. You put a plasma cutter on it, and
Oh yeah, I've seen videos of those. Yeah.
yeah. So you could make something out of cardboard. Then you just trace the cardboard, whatever you want, and then it'll cut that out of metal.
Right.
Or if
With
you're
the-
really good in CAD, you could do it in CAD, and then see it at the file.
Yeah.
But I was like,
The
oh, that
software-
is pretty cool.
The software with this one is called Fusion 360, and
Yeah.
you can do similar to that, but if you take a picture of something, you can upload it into that, and then you can convert that to a file, resize it, change it, whatever you need to do,
So you
make
could
it thicker.
So you could do the same kind of thing. You can make it out of cardboard, take a picture of it,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
make a file. And once it's in there, then you can do whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah. But I've got exactly 10 jobs already waiting to be done. Now 11 since Lewis needs something. Anybody else? Any more takers?
No.
Yeah.
Need something for your grill?
I got a whole bunch of ideas, but my wallet don't add up to what I think in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I'm in
will
this,
get together. Tell me what you want, how big you want it, and we'll start designing and putting it together and get it cut out.
I'm in this 3D car parts Facebook group, and these guys are printing like anything. A lot of them, they're like printing AC vents and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of cool. No, the only thing is, it still has the texture. You have to get rid of the texture and whatever.
Well,
Yeah, I do that. I 3D print a lot of plastic model car parts, the engines, seats, the wheels, the tires. The best way to get rid of that texture is once it comes out of the printer, drop it in some 90% rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, that's what
Let it soak for about 10 minutes, pull it out, let it air dry, and it'll look great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, what material? What material is that?
Huh?
What material is that? Not.
I use mine is a liquid.
No. Your 3D printed.
My resin is a liquid. I pour it into a vat.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going down and picking that up and forming the part.
Right.
Yeah. So how's my favorite Ray doing?
He's tired today.
I can tell.
I've been driving all day.
No.
Yeah, just the downtime.
I was supposed to go on a driving trip, leave out this morning, and I made it to Mentor, Ohio, and I said, screw this. I turned around and came back home. It's a 3-hour drive there to Delaware, Ohio, to pick up one of those air drying machines, central pneumatic air drying thing to hook up on your air compressor. It's essential when you have a CNC plasma cutter table to have something like that. And the only store in the entire state of Ohio at Harbor Freight that has one is in Delaware.
Oh, wow.
Well, I called that manager when the store opened. I said, listen, I'm not coming. My legs and hip just ain't going to let me do it. I said, but I hired a guy. He's going to be coming in the morning. He'll be there about
You're
1.
not as heavy as you think you are.
So, Adam, Bill from Grease Spot Garage.
Yep.
I hired him to go get it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's close to Daryl's shop.
Yes.
Sydney and Delaware close together there.
Yep.
So
I'll be cruising through Brian's neck of the woods tomorrow. Not real close, but we'll be clipping Maryland because we're in Virginia. So I can't stay in Maryland. Otherwise we would have. So,
You're heading back. So when did you went last week? You went down.
Yeah.
And now you're coming back up. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
yeah. So are
Do you
you
have the
just
babies?
out on vacation, Ray, or
No, we went down for my daughter's baby's reveal.
okay?
So found out she's having a boy.
Cool.
And so it was a good time. And we always stretch it out. We like to make a little. I don't like to go because I drive. I'm not going back and forth. You got to spend some time.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a nice 69 Chevelle.
9.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, so
What's the difference? 68 would what? Have the window?
This is what
It had a vent window, and the grill's a little different.
the grill's a little different.
Actually, the light reveal's a little different too.
Yeah.
The
So
real
he,
lights are the giveaway.
Everything's connected. It's just not enough broadband.
Yeah, I want to do a reveal for my granddaughter. Well, I already know it's a granddaughter, but I just want to do a reveal anyway. Just do a
Okay.
burnout on my road. What's it gonna be? I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, look, take those.
I've seen that where people do that.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know. They put something down on the ground and did the burnout, and then it changed color.
Yeah, the right way to do it is get the tires from Australia, the different colored tires, and then you can
Oh,
do a
yeah.
burnout with that.
They have
Right,
different
right,
color tires.
But yeah. Otherwise, it's like powder or some crap you put on a tire. I don't know.
Right.
I think the way they do that is if it's a girl, they use a Ford and it comes out pink, and if it's a
Yeah.
boy, they use a Chevy. And
There you go.
Yeah.
So sit down a little bit lower. See how there's a bit.
Oh yeah.
So I want to show you his 3D print. Hold on one second.
So sit down a little bit lower. See how there's a bigger gap here, and this mounts to our plate up front. But anyways, if you got a stock car, it should go in there as well. This has just been modified because my tunnels are bigger to accommodate the 6L80E transmission. Guys, you can see that I am really close with my prototype. Chad, you are going to love your car. This thing, it looks like it came from the factory. That was my goal, right? Speaking of my goal, I've been 3D printing cool parts for a long time ago. In 2008, I printed my own iPhone holder for my Harley. I just brought a toy back up front, and I'm going to start printing some other parts too. It's going to be really fun. Come on, let's go check that thing out before we get out of here.
Yeah, so he's printing a lot of stuff. Air tubes for under the hood for air intake. Yeah, he's doing it pretty good.
So is that console completely printed?
No, so he buys a console and then he wait, let me turn this off. Hold on.
We printed the place for the cup holder, whatever, trim or something maybe.
Yeah. So what he does is like the front half of that console, he cuts it off, and then he 3D prints the part that comes up that holds the screen.
Okay.
So it holds the touch screen. Then he takes the glove box, or what do you call it, the console box, takes that lid off, then he prints the cup holder section. And he's using carbon fibers. And the way he gets rid of those print marks is he does body work on it. He sands it, paints it, and he uses whatever paint that he uses looks like the actual plastic of the old car. You know the console. So it looks pretty good. You can't tell. It looks like from the factory. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yep. He's printing a whole bunch of stuff, like things that you just don't think of. Like when your door handle goes under your car, he's printing the grommets in between the car and door handle.
Oh, they sell the gaskets for that.
Yeah, the gaskets. He's printing those. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of ordering, he goes, "Oh, I need one." Whoop, hit the button.
Well,
come back
that's
2
nice.
hours later, and then here it is.
Well, he's actually printing them and selling them too. You could you could buy the backing for your what do you call them? The badges. Yep, he's doing some nice stuff. You got to go on his site and check out all the stuff that he's doing. He's doing great work. Nice shop. Yep.
Yeah, the 3D printing stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to some guys about doing some Cyclone Typhoon cladding. I'm like, how big of a printer do you need to print like a whole bumper? And because there's a guy making them out of fiberglass, and then there's some guy that has a whole bunch of NOS stuff, but it's like 30-something years old. It's just all ABS porous plastic, and I'm sure you just turn it, crank it, it'll probably just break.
Right.
That's how the stuff is now.
I was on one of the gun sites I was buying stuff from, and I saw they had a gun block. So when you want to, take the gun apart, you can support it and drive a pin out. There's different cutouts, And the one he was using was aluminum, and they were selling them, and it was like, I don't know, like $25 or something. I said, yes, send me one. And what I got was a black 3D printed one. With all the lines in it and everything. I'm like, it works. I mean, it works just fine.
Yeah.
It's thick. I mean, it's got to be almost, 1.5 inches thick.
Yeah. So when I print stuff, I'm still learning, but you can print it with a solid inside where it'll fill, or you can print it where it's not totally solid inside. Depends on how strong you need it.
Right.
Matter of
Hey,
fact,
Bill.
Has anybody seen how you can use your iPhone or Android to scan a shape? It's like a LiDAR scanning, or you could just do it taking pictures. And you can read it into a CAD system like Fusion 360, Joey. And you can actually duplicate things very accurately.
Yep.
really, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's really neat. I scanned the whole front end of my Camaro, and it comes in, I mean, beautiful. Check the dimensionally and everything. It's really great, but it's just an interesting way and an easy way to capture something that you might want to duplicate. Maybe you broke an interior part or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But I got this
Bill.
new hot rod that I'm getting, I'm working on, and I'm going to scan this new frame I picked actually from the show this weekend. Lewis, I picked up a Packard frame. Not even sure what year it is, and I picked up a Buick Straight 8 Fireball 8, and I'm gonna scan all that stuff to set everything up, and put it in the computer, and I get everything set up just the way I want the car to be, and saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Bill, I need you to come over and give me lessons and tie my shoe.
How to tie your shoes? I'll buy slip-ons.
Yeah. Hire that guy that you sent to pick up the air blaster. Just hire him.
There you go.
You don't know how to tie shoes. He's got a prosthetic leg.
Well, that's true. He does, doesn't he?
Yeah. I could take his leg and call him IHOP or something.
So, Bill, you're pretty fluent with Fusion?
I've used it a little bit, enough to. It's actually really easy to use. You don't have to be like a CAD expert or anything. When you pull the software up, usually what I'll do is you can do like a sketch, a 2D sketch to get the ball rolling, and then you extrude it, so you add a thickness to it, and then you can put sculptured surfaces in there and trim things off, and make a really nice 3D part. I'm going to use it probably. I'm building a 2 different CNC mills right now, and I'm thinking I'll use that quite a bit for some of the machining. It'll do 3D sculptured surfaces. It'll do plasma programming and cutting really well. It's a really nice package.
Nice. Yeah, this machine here, it came with that, and you got the came with a big 21.5-inch touchscreen, and the thing is, it's basically a turnkey machine once you get it assembled.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about Fusion 360, but I'm about to learn. And I can't wait. I've been watching videos, tutorials of guys, giving pretty good lessons on creating things. This lady I was watching a video earlier that she did a 3D sign, not 3D, but 3 layered sign that turned out absolutely beautiful for a coffee company down in Texas. It's really awesome. The stuff you can do with that Fusion 360.
Some of these guys can get away.
The other thing you can do, Joey, is like Keith was saying, you can, if you cut out a cardboard pattern of something you want to cut, you can set it on your table, and you can go around and self-teach that shape with the Langmuir itself. You can basically teach the path, and then it'll duplicate whatever it is that you just basically digitized, I guess you'd say. You go around and you pick points on the part you want to duplicate, and then you're good to go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was watching someone did similar to that, and how they were making plates that they were going to use to weld onto frames. And these plates, they had like a beveled, rounded edge at the corners. The cardboard or whatever it was they used, it had square type corners, but they didn't want it that way on the cutout.
Mhm.
So they were able to change all that after
Yeah.
they got it up into the 360 and fine tuned it, laid a 3/16 piece of metal on there and cut out a whole sheet of those plates, and they use them on like demolition derby cars and dirt track cars, these plates on the frames and on the door
Yeah.
jam areas to kind of strengthen things.
Yep. Yeah, you can get the data in there, then you can edit it.
Yeah.
Make modifications real easy.
Yeah, I can't wait though. I mean, this table is going to be such a game changer for me. Not only personally, but financially, as far as making some extra money. Something I've been talking about for a long time, right, Bill?
Yeah, you talk a lot. I mean,
And-
yes, you've been talking about that for a long time.
You know what I mean? It's a dream finally coming to pass.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't owe a dime on this thing.
That's the best part.
So I don't have to worry about any payments or anything like that. It's paid for. It's mine. And I just got to go through and make sure I'm doing it right, setting it up. And it's just taking a minute. I wish I had more help, but all I could afford was one guy.
That's one more than I could afford.
But he's pretty cool though. He's pretty smart. He's the scientist. He's the scientist for Bissell Farms down here, where they make maple syrup. They call him their scientist because he's just so smart engineering wise. And I think I got the right guy. There's a lot of this stuff I don't know jack about it. But as soon as he reads it, he's like, "Oh, that's easy. I can do that." I'm like, "Oh, go ahead. That's what you're paid for."
Well, you got to find out some of those stamping companies in your area, and a lot of times when they're doing prototypes or die development, as you're going through the die process, they need a lot of blanks plasma cut. Just for tryout purposes, right, and trim line development and things like that.
Yeah. You were telling me we'll get together and have a conversation about all that. But guys, I gotta go. I got some video I gotta get edited and up on the YouTube tonight. And my phone keeps blowing up with whiskey dents and classic car revivals aggravating me. You know how them boys are. Still. No, they're good. They're good boys.
They were both up at the show this weekend too.
Yeah, they were there at Arco show. They're great guys. He sold that OBS truck.
Oh, did he?
One of the guys in the live stream chat bought it. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But guys, y'all have a great night. It was really good seeing you. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this on an iPad, but I'll figure it out.
I'll kick you out. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I'll see you guys again next Thursday, and maybe this thing will be going, and you can watch it go to work while we're on live.
That would be cool.
All right. Have a good week.
Joe.
All right, Joe.
All right,
we'll
guys.
catch you
Have a
later.
good one. We'll see you.
See you, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, the technology, the way it is now compared to like, this is my 49th year or 48th year, something like that, in the auto industry and making sheet metal parts and all that stuff. I mean, it's changed from when I started in this business. They had Mylars, but they were also still doing automotive layouts on aluminum lofts. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the aluminum lofts, but it'd be like a 12-foot long by 4-foot wide piece of aluminum, and they would lay all the lines out. They were dimensionally accurate. You don't get any shrink or stretch or anything. Now everything's in CAD system.
Yeah.
Really changed a lot.
Yeah. It creates gives you more creativity.
Yeah, it really does.
Yep.
Yep.
So do you work for Ford?
I was the Ford Global Key Account Manager for about when they started the development on the aluminum F-150. I was a Global Key Account Manager from a different company, but the reason I got into that is back in the 80s, we did something called the aluminum intensive vehicle. And I knew people at Ford, and Ford knew me. And, I'd also worked on the GT program that, it was all aluminum. Everything, is pretty much aluminum. And so I worked with aluminum a lot. That was my in. And so I got to, travel the world for a long time. And, so yeah, I did a lot of work for Ford. That was pretty cool. The main thing I was working on was the joining processes, because they're not welding the body, right?
Right.
It's all mechanical joints, and so I was doing that development work and helping them with that, and it was really good. I don't know, 12 years I guess I did it.
Now, what do you in your paths? What was the best epoxy or glues for that kind of stuff that you've seen?
Well, they use a couple of different types of either adhesives or sealers, depending on what they're doing. Is it a wet joint or is it a dry joint? There's all these different things. How thick is the aluminum? How is it going to be an aluminum to steel joint? There's so many factors. But there's a number of different companies that supply them with these adhesives. And that's another kind of a cool thing about this mechanical joining, because one of the biggest products that we use to assemble the aluminum F-150 and a lot of other aluminum cars globally is a clinch joint. A clinch joint is just, you take the two pieces of material and you have a die on the bottom and a punch on the top, and we come down and it's like a little die, like a forming die, for a hood or a roof or you name it, any part you would form in the press. We come down with a high force tool, and what it does is it creates an interlock, kind of like a dovetail, just with the two pieces of material. You're not adding weight, you're not adding a rivet. You don't have to feed a rivet, using automation, because feeding rivets and all that kind of stuff is always problematic. And with those adhesives in there, you can't get those things apart.
Back in '89, when I was at Porsche, we were using those on the A-pillar. And it was coming up from the windshield because of the convertibles or the Targas and so forth. But the strength of it was there was multiple layers of steel, and then they crimped it, like you said, and put. The only problem that we found later on, this is in the very early stages, because we were one of the first people doing this type of stuff, this type of technology. This is, like I said, '89. Early 90s, we were doing this. But after a couple of years, these cars would come back with a little bit of a creaking noise, and they'd loosen up. And it was kind of funny because we went to training for this type of thing, and they made a tool to fit on there, so that all you had to do was pull down the interior and it hooked on, and literally it was like a pry bar with this thing, and you had to bend it down and it squeezed the metal.
Oh yeah,
crimped it. The only problem is the difference between a 6'4", 380-pound guy versus a guy that was 5'6" and 120 squeezing this. The first one I did, I almost literally ripped out the A-pillar in the car because I grabbed a hold and tweaked the crap out. I almost popped the windshield out of it. So they after that, they were like, okay, well, maybe we'll have the district regional manager guy. And when we had one of these problems, he would come to the dealer and do that, because some guys couldn't bend the metal, and then you had guys like me that would pull the windshield out, So it was a very scary idea of taking a car and reforming it. So
Right. They've done a lot of development for reasons like that. And now when you've like a little, like 1/4-inch joint, let's say, you come down with about, I guess it's about 5 tons. And what we do is we put so much pressure down on the bottom of that die with the 2 sheets of material in there that they form what they call micro contacts, which basically
Well,
it's like a cold weld going together, so they won't separate, because that would be a huge problem. Which I mean, and so we've done a lot of that type of development to help
BMW is
eliminate.
really into it. Like they have a lot of the stuff like putting in roof liners, the roof of the car and so forth, are all cold weld, or I guess I don't know what the term is, but they're glued in. A lot of this stuff is now glued in, and it's really amazing. Like I said, it kind of takes a lot of tools and equipment that you used to have that you don't use anymore.
Right.
And it's, again, you got the old timer that says, oh, there's nothing like, burning one end, but, it really weakens, it actually weakens the car versus strengthening the car with the metal.
Right.
So it's fairly interesting.
It really is. And then they're doing these ultra high strength steels. So they want the outer body to be aluminum, and you have to join this aluminum to these ultra high strength steels, which are like as hard as diamond. And we use laser to heat the hard metal so you can join the soft metal to it, and it's a lot of crazy stuff.
I think about it from the repair process. Be able to fix it.
Oh yeah, well you can fix it. I mean, but it's just that technology and that learning curve is so big, and like I said, unfortunately, to find somebody new to come into this is very difficult, because you have. I remember like the Ford dealership when the all aluminum trucks came out, they had to clear one whole floor of the body shop, and it was pressure because they couldn't have the steel and aluminum together because of the contaminants, and you had old guys saying, oh, there's no deform, there's no contaminants, and they're using their steel hammers on the aluminum beaten.
Oh yeah,
and you don't see it at the beginning, but 2 years down the road, you start having problems with the repair. And that's the biggest problem, Papa Squirrel, that you try to teach an old dog new tricks is very difficult. And then you get in there, and it's hard to get somebody new into the business to do the repair.
Well, that guy is new. He never ever worked.
Yeah, well, that's another problem. That's what new stands for, right? Never ever worked. And it's a really, and the sad part about it, I remember because I'd put a bid in because the body shop manager came to me and said, we need all this aluminum tool stuff, and I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Steck or somebody made a Ford cart, and it had all this aluminum tool stuff and spot weld, the stuff they use for aluminum weld. I put a bid in, and it was a bidding war, and like I said. But the most amazing part is, here we are 10 years later, and that stuff sits in the corner. Nobody uses it because those guys are still pounding the shit out of the stuff with metal hammers.
Yeah.
And they look at it this way. Look, I fixed it. I got paid. And by the time it comes back, I'm not going to be here. So it doesn't
yeah, right.
Great work ethic.
Another big problem, especially with Ford, because they use so much aluminum in their stampings, is this aluminum age hardens, and it only has like a lifetime of 90 days or something like that. So they're always bringing in new coils of aluminum and new blanks and all that, and they got to run them pretty fast, because after a while they'll just break, they'll crack, they'll split, when they throw them in a press, and it's expensive.
Yeah, it's hard. Like you said, it's funny that like you said, the age or the limit on it on time wise. That's like you go back a dollar bill, a U.S. dollar bill only has 100 hours life, so that's how long it cycles in the system. And that's why, like, if you ever pay attention when you're at the bank and you deposit money, and that the lady's going through and she makes a separate pile because that money's being pulled out of circulation to have new money put in. And like you said, you don't think about that. And that's like you said, those aluminum dies and that aluminum stuff. It's a really complicated an orchestra of stuff that goes on that if it's not caught or a bad batch gets out, it's a big problem.
Mm-hmm. It is a big problem.
And people don't realize how much of a mess it really makes.
Yep.
That's why I really wish that sometimes they just leave shit alone. But unfortunately, we end up creating so much of our own problem.
Yes.
With some of that stuff with technology.
Yeah.
As a guy that came from German stuff, like I said, we were doing stuff 20 years before everybody else. Drive-by-wire, all that stuff. Was so much earlier on from those cars to what we have, what's going on today. We had 30 years ago.
Yep.
So the technology can be good, but man, it's costly, and people don't understand that. They wonder why the cost is so expensive.
Yeah. Today I was down in Indiana at the Muncie transmission plant where the original Muncie Transits were made. Now it's a different company, but they still call it the Muncie plant. And when they're like building any kind of powertrain application or any kind of body, they have all this computer monitoring in all of the different machines. As you go down the line, they have to verify, okay, we pressed it in with the right force, we had the right press fit, all these different things that they look for, and people don't even inspect them most of the time. Most of the quality is done in the machine that's making the part.
Yeah, there's a guy standing there supposed to watch, but they rely on the machine.
Yeah.
And then when the machine makes a mistake, that's like, I know we're still alive and I shouldn't say stuff, but even like we have robots doing our stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to be sitting there watching. Now I know that somebody gets sidetracked or walked away, and they say, "Oh, well, it has to be okay because it was a machine."
Yeah.
And then they don't go back and check that, and next thing you know, it gets halfway put together, and they say, "Hey, man, this thing's out of square. Why is it out of square?"
Yeah.
And you still have to work or take the dedication or the pride of checking if you're that item.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we've come to this part where we just rely on the machine. Well, the machine did it. It can't be wrong. It's like relying on the internet to tell you the truth about something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Careful, Brian.
I know. I'm going to go get some more coffee.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can. I got to watch a
want
filter.
the government people coming looking for you because
I know. I'm 30 miles out. I'm close to all the activity. So luckily, they're probably all busy because I think Trump was supposed to drive around D.C. tonight. So
yes, he is. He's going on.
I might have at least one more night of freedom before the black SUV pulls in.
Yeah, he was doing a ride along with the cops, I think.
Yeah. His episode of Cops. I can't wait till that's on TV.
Oh, God. I was just reading one where he's claiming that he's a war hero. 5-time draft dodger, and he's a war hero.
Yeah.
But I better shut up, too, because we're still alive.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of steps, and like I said, all you gotta do is most people want to get to the point where they jump over a couple of those steps, and then when they get caught, they want to blame the system.
Oh yeah, yeah,
or the product, and that's I'm not saying we're all guilty of that because like I said, you just kind of. And it doesn't help when you have somebody saying, we got to get this out, we got to get this out, we got to get this out, or we got the deadline, we got a deadline, we got a deadline. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yep.
But there's a lot of checking to make sure. But it is kind of amazing. I've done, I've been fortunate enough, and some of my body shops, when they go in for welding, like the aluminum weld on the F-150s and so forth. And those guys, luckily, a lot of those guys, they're so itching to to teach somebody, even though I'm not even a body man. They're like, hey, you want to give this a try? And I'll never turn down, playing with that stuff. And it is fairly interesting, when you look at, weld mark or your glue mark or whatever, if it's going to hold or not,
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, we just recently developed this thing. Actually, we developed it with Audi.
Yeah.
A lot of times in the in the stamping plants, they'll have a hood to an inner hood, right? And then they ship that to a body shop somewhere where it's going to get installed. But the inner hood might move around inside of the outer hood because the flange isn't tight enough to hold it. And so we came up with this thing we call it seam stake. Now they're all starting to use this, where it just comes down and it's almost like one of those clinch joints or crimp joints, but it just puts enough pressure on the flange on the outer, on the inside, against the inner hood, and it holds them. And now that problem is starting to actually go away. But there's all these little things because I guess they don't have a lot of confidence in the people they get these days, unfortunately.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing, I was watching something on YouTube, and I was watching this guy, and he was welding. He was welding on his car. Of course, I'm in the stage with my Mustang, doing stuff, and I'm watching this guy, and he's got this thing cranked up, full blown, and he's just blowing right through welding this piece on, and I'm like, dude, there's no way that you don't have warpage or this whole thing. And it doesn't even recheck or measure. And I said, well, it's good content for the YouTube, but I said, there's no way that made it on the car.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm over here and I'm doing I'm welding, I'm repairing some original fenders, and it's like, okay, a little bit here, let it sit. I'm like, of course, I understand they're making it look 10 minutes, and it might have taken them. But when he cranked that thing up and went full bore to weld across the thing, I was like, there's no way that is done. And my wife had said, well, why do you say that? And I said, the heat generated, you might as well, instead of even trying to weld, you should have just plastered Bondo all in there, because you're going to have so much in there.
It's physics, right? I mean, you can't apply that much heat to something and not expect it to move.
So it's that's why I think in our time right now, we're on that double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It looks great, but too many people don't understand the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
And and you wonder why it went, well, why did this go bad, or why did this happen? It's like, dude, you cook this thing, and there's no way that you can, that piece of metal is only have that much heat. Even a big piece, even a thick piece, it moves.
Yep.
So,
all right, guys, time for me to get out of here.
All right, Jim, take care.
Take care.
Guys, watch out for those black Suburbans.
Yeah, I know. I keep looking over my shoulder. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's been an interesting career, I'll tell you. It's
who's got
a lot of stuff has changed.
Yeah, even like you said, if you're this whole industry, like I said, I remember, like I said, I was on the tail end on the German stuff. When it was downdrafts and Webers, the carburetor. I was on very short end of that, because we all started with fuel injection.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And I had buddies that worked at other, the Ford and GM and regular places. And they were like, dude, how do you even deal with that stuff? Because they just weren't used to it. And that technology. And like I said, as it evolves, it gets better. But where we are now with this car stuff, especially body technology, glass technology, is really crazy, because they got the sensors in them now to turn for rain and automatic darkening, and once it gets to economical or money value part, where they can, it'll show up in the lower end. That's why it always starts in the higher end stuff and works its way down.
Right.
You know, like I said, we had aluminum, the 920, the A8s and the 928. I mean, those were all aluminum cars.
Yeah, right.
And that's 30 years ago. That was before, you know. And then, of course, you had your sleepers. You know, GM and Ford, you know, played around with some of that because some of those cars, you know, would have aluminum hoods or aluminum fenders, you know, for like stock racing, you know, weight wise, you know.
Yeah.
And it's always been there. It just hasn't grown to where now you have a whole car and it's held together with the glue instead of, you know, nuts or bolts or welds. So it is interesting.
It's really, it's interesting. It's changed so much. About 5-6 years ago. Well, I was on YouTube, maybe 4 years ago. Ford dropped off a F-150 body in white at my house. I've got a little shop here, right? Nothing big, but and I went through and I basically used the plasma cutter and sliced through all the different parts, all the components. Made section cuts through these joints to show, you know, how they are working. I did a thing on YouTube. Oh boy, what was it? I can't even remember what it was called. Something about automation and manufacturing these days, something like that. But anyways, just to show all these joints and the materials and the different things, you know, and I mean the multi-layers of parts that they assemble now. They're trying to go to more castings, right? Magnesium castings or aluminum castings, the whole front of the new Corvette. It's just one big casting, you know?
Yeah. Well, like we had a lot of magnesium parts on the Porsches.
Yeah.
And, you know, the problem is it's great until you have a fire.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something happens and, man, you got to, you know, you're walking around with a time bomb, you know.
Right.
That stuff, you know.
That stuff's flammable.
Oh, yeah. It's great on one end, but, you know, and then on the other side, it can be real messy real quick.
Yeah. Yep. Were you ever at the Porsche plant in Germany?
No, unfortunately, I never got that to do any of that stuff. But I did. You know, the closest I ever came, we had a training center up in New Jersey, and I was really good friends with a lot of the instructors. And like I saw a lot of the stuff for the Cayenne and stuff before it even came. I mean, before that stuff came out, that was probably 3 or 4 years before I knew that stuff was going to be out because they were already developing the training centers for the motors and the cars and so forth. So a lot of that stuff was behind closed doors. And like I said, I taught, you know, I had an opportunity with the Porsche race team.
Oh yeah.
Down in Champaign, down in Florida. That unfortunately, being a stupid kid, I shot my mouth off and got kicked to the curb. So you know, the learning experience on stuff like that. But you know, like I said, as at that time, I didn't realize how much or what it really meant until later on. What the stuff that I know now, of course, it's like everything else. What I know now, I wish I knew when I was a kid because, you know, like I said, the ability of the stuff that was around, and it you know, like I said, it was really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, a lot of the instructors were really good guys, good friends, and you know, I got a lot of insight. And like I said, when you look back, there was a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah,
and it was the beginning of where we are. You know, when you look back, so it was fairly interesting.
In Germany, I think it's Wolfsburg, Germany. They VW has something called Auto World. They wanted to call it Motor City, but they couldn't because that name was taken, right?
Yeah.
So Auto World, they produce Porsches, of course, all the VW plants. I mean, they have plants all over the world, but they have these plants all in this one, like 7 mile by 7 mile campus, and I got to tour that. But one of the cool things about it is they have a museum for each one of, like for Porsche, for VW, and they'll show all the history of everything, and you can go and look at all this stuff, and you know it's a really good learning.
It's hard to believe. I can't remember the exact number I read, but Volkswagen itself is something like 40% of the German economy. That's how much they own and how much they're involved. And you figure a company that was almost put to sleep, put out, and the how big they are. I mean, they got into they got into Bentley, Rolls Royce. They owned all that stuff.
Yeah,
and it's really amazing. As much as I usually get a lot of crap because you're that Volkswagen guy or that Porsche guy, but there's a lot of technology that was handed down, and those guys, it's fairly interesting how big they really are. It's kind of scary how big they are.
They're huge. It's really, people don't realize all the different cars that are actually owned, the companies that are owned by Volkswagen.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where those guys just sat back quietly buying up stuff and nobody paid any attention. Next thing you know, they got the market, so.
Yep.
So it's interesting, but unfortunately, as much as you hate it, you got to have it. I mean, that's, like I said, that's the technology.
Yep.
That's like when I had I bought it this way, but like my tool truck with the aluminum, and the guy before me had wrecked it. Whoever fixed it, they used steel rivets. And here it is. It was a couple of years later. Now I have all kinds of corrosion and contamination.
Yeah.
And once that stuff is in, you just can't sand it.
No.
You decide the problem for the thing. It's in that aluminum. That's got to be all replaced.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. Or
that's another thing in technology, because in these rivets that they use, they're steel rivets, but they have to have these special coatings on them, and then you have to have the special adhesives or sealers that keep you from having that dielectric, corrosion that happens when you have aluminum. I mean, it's just like, I'm amazed. We say, okay, an F-150 is $90,000 or whatever. I'm surprised they're not $200,000 with all the stuff they have to go through.
It's really funny, Bill. Us Porsche guys, there was one thing that you had to own. You had to own a drill and a drill bit.
Yeah.
Because back in the old days, they would use a steel bolt into an aluminum head. And no matter what, by the time you had to drill the bolt out because the metal seized to the aluminum or corroded in, So then they had these micro capsulated bolts.
Yep.
And we started getting into, and it was funny because, the service writer will come out and say, hey, how come this bill is $400 more than what, I told the guy? And I said, because you got $400 worth of hardware.
Yeah.
You can't reuse, because once that, and they would look at it because the bolts were kind of green in color,
Yeah.
And he would look at it and say, well, there's nothing wrong with this bolt. And I said, well, the coating's gone.
Yeah.
And you can't put it back in because now that was the next guy. And of course, you had that guy would say, oh, well, screw it. It's the next guy's problem.
Yeah. But it will be a problem.
It will be a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
And I can't, if I go over, if I dig them out, I mean, I can't tell you how many jigs I had to make. Because of all the stuff, exhaust manifolds, water pump bolts, alternator, all that stuff that would seize because somebody would put the wrong hardware in.
Yep.
And, it would seize in there. So, and like I said, that's 30 years ago.
Right. Right. Now they have like all these material, you have mixed material vehicles, they call them now. You have ultra high strength steels, you have aluminum, all these different alloys of aluminum, and when they put nuts and studs and fasteners like you're discussing into a vehicle, they have to be all the coatings, everything you talked about. So what they do is they have to have a container that these are in, and you use that container to open the feeder that these things go into. So you're putting the right, fastener, because they can all look the same or be the same size, but they're going into different materials. You put the wrong one in there, you have a big problem. And so everything's barcoded, and it has to. Hopefully they put the right, elements into the jug that they come in, but you have to scan it to open the door to put them in the feeding equipment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. There's so much stuff you have to go through because they don't trust people. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
Yep, they just don't. They don't trust.
Yeah, it's crazy for sure. Where are you at exactly, Ray? I mean, where?
Harrisonburg, VA. Yeah. Exit, what are we like? What was it? 549 on 81.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just about halfway between Charlotte and home. And next time I want to stop further north, but in Virginia, this is like the hub. This is where everything is. There's a couple towns above us. There's really nothing there. So I'm thinking maybe click into PA, see what's there, to get me a little further on the way home. Because I can make that trip down in one shot. I never make it back in one shot.
Yeah, it's easy going down. It's downhill. Coming up is a little bit more,
Yeah.
And they say we're flat. I don't understand. So.
Oh no. I tell you though, I rented a Nissan Rogue this time, and I put you can actually tune the turbo how you want it and all. So I have it on the economy setting and everything, and it was fine through the hills. Damn thing's getting like 38 miles to the gallon. I've only put gas in it 3 times. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, doing very well in gas. So
that's good.
Yeah. Whatever.
You don't want to just take one of your vehicles and have an adventure?
No.
Take the Impala. Let's see if it makes it.
Actually, I'm always like, we had this reveal, so I was bringing. My younger daughter came down with my wife and I, so we had her in the car, and we had the big reveal box that we built at home, and we filled out with other stuff. I mean, we were packed, and I'm packed coming back because we brought some of the stuff back, some of it stayed. It's crazy the stuff we lug around with us. It's nutty.
Yep.
That's good.
You ought to come on the Ren Fair circuit. Then you've got an excuse to lug around shit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The Ren Fair starts here this weekend in Maryland. The Renaissance Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just finished ours. We're heading back home finally. We've been gone now for over 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Wow. So I see Lewis left, but he didn't end the feed. He didn't end the
He
live.
just disappeared. I don't know what happened. I don't know what we
I
said.
I'd go back. I think I'd go back pirating that internet. If he's paying for it, he has a lot of problems.
I think so. Yeah, I can't end it from this end tonight. So.
Oh, that's right.
Are we going to be here for a week?
Yeah.
No, I mean we can all just sign out, but I from home I can end it because I'm a
I have to be on good behavior. So Ray's telling me I have to be on good behavior from here on out. I
watch it.
I have to watch what I say. So
exactly.
Hey, have you gone to any Cracker Barrels?
Oh yeah. There's one down. There's one down
recent. Have you gone recently?
Yeah, a couple days ago. Sure.
So they changed the whole interior? They get all the crap off the walls?
No, not the one I was in.
Slow process.
Slow process.
Yeah, I heard a wind about something like that, but I didn't hear the whole story. What's the deal?
They're changing the logo, and then I guess they're changing the whole interior to get rid of the stuff, making it just like all white walls.
Oh no, they got it. I'm gonna stop going.
Yeah, I'm not.
They-
I won't go either. I go there to go look around at all the
That's
cool stuff hanging from the
new-
ceiling and
that's the
everything.
new CEO. That's the new.
Yeah.
They're doing the Bud Light thing.
CEO.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
they
never,
just-
I've never understood.
Gain weight.
I think they're going to see a lot of pushback.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the stock. I think the stock tanked
Yeah.
already.
Well, I never understand why the things that work they want to change, and the
Yeah.
things that don't work they want to keep dumping money into it to try to make it work.
Right.
It's got to be like I said. I think we're all built in this stupid way of self-destructing. You know, if you have something that works, this is what I argue about all the time with Mako. We have something that works, and it's very good, but you have to change it. And then we have this POS thing that, you know, we just keep dumping either money into it or eating it. To, you know, and I always ask. Usually this is when I get cut off because I tell them, "What does that person have naked pictures of you or something? I mean, that's something to hold over your head. Because why do we keep dumping money in something that sucks?
You know,
instead of messing with something that's good."
It was funny. The other day, I sent you that video from my buddy Kenny, Wrenching with Kenny, and he did his rant about Mac because he's always hated Mac, and you know he mentioned Mac on Snap-on and all. But I sent him a text because he's up way north in North Carolina now. So I sent him a text and I said, "Hey, I just caught your video." I sent it to my Matco friend. I said, Matco Man Brian. I said, a lot of truth in there, you know, and a lot of laughs. So I said, the one thing you didn't comment on was I told about that whole thing with me that went on with the Mac ratchet wrench. I sent him the pictures. I said, you know, you mentioned that the guy, you always had trouble with the dealer. I said, well, you know what it stands for, man. I said, you know, capital letters, man ain't coming. He wrote back, he was like LOL and crying all over the page, like 9,000 emojis. He's like, dude, I've never heard that. He goes, that is perfect. I was like, yeah, right. Now, if you remember, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, I came up with another one that I threw out that you liked, and I can't remember for the world what it was.
Yeah.
It was another Mac acronym. I can't think of what it was. Anyway.
I can't remember either.
But he really got a kick out of it. He goes, "Oh, that is so great." I said, "Feel free to use it. You know, propagate it."
That's one of the things that we say when a guy comes around. But
yeah,
you know, again, like I said, every manufacturer, every company, you know, as long as they're making money, they don't care.
Right.
So it's as soon as they ain't making money, you know, then like I said, they start messing with stuff, and some of the stuff they should just leave alone, and other stuff they get in there and should have never done in the first place.
Yeah. So on another note, you know, I wanted to get all my parts returns out before I left, and I did. But I sent that fan and shroud back to Summit from DeWitt's. And then I had an email going with the guy. He replied to me, and he says, "Oh yeah," he goes, "That's not going to fit." You know, actually, on the way down, driving down, I gave my daughter Jenny. I said, "Listen, I'm going to send you a picture of my radiator," and I made a drawing, dimensionalized drawing of the core size and the tanks. I said, "Can you dimension this?" She's a graphic designer, so in the car on the way down, she does it on her phone. And says, I was like, "This is beautiful." So I send it off to the guy, and he gets back to me. He says, "Yeah." He goes, "I see what's going on." He says, "That will not fit. You know, you can't make that fit." He says, "You know, we sell a 2-core. I have a 4-core radiator." He goes, "We sell a 2-core aluminum that I pretty much guarantee would cool better than what you have, and you know, we may be able to make a fan, you know, shroud and fan fit that." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, you know, I'm not married to what I have. I do have a 4-core, but my buddy who's a radiator guy rebuilt it and put in 1-inch tubes and like a shitload more fins. But I am having, you know, some issues. So I'm open to that. And I know, though, you know, I spent $750 on that fan and shroud. The radiator they do have on their site is like another $850. So I said, listen, given the cost, I said, that's going to rise pretty quick. I said, can you do something for me? Can I put this through the shop or something, you know, and you know, get the cost down a little bit? and he hasn't gotten back to me yet. Now in like 2 days, so I don't know if he just gave me the see ya. I don't know. But I was going to go home to a car that doesn't have a radiator in it and doesn't have an interior because I can't put the seats in it, and kind of stuck going backwards.
Yeah. Like I said, today it's very, I don't even know how to really say it nicely, but it really sucks because, you started out, you can't budget it, or not even a budget, but it's the money value and the money cost, because you're like, okay, I want to spend $1,200, and then you go through, you got half the shit sent back, and now it's going to be, well, it's $1,350 now, and you're like, okay, and then it's like, oh, well, you need this, so now it's $495, and you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, how much more do I got to hang on to put on a fan?
Right.
They're going. You might. By the time you're done, you're going to LS swap it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the way. It's just like I haven't got my tool truck back. It's the same thing.
Oh, still not, huh?
It's.
God.
It's just. Again, you're like.
But didn't your daughter have to go back to school?
Yeah.
What did you do? Make a walk? Take a bicycle?
No, she's got it. We shuffled some cars around here, and then I stole my mom's car, or her van. She has an Odyssey van. I stole that.
Odyssey, car around the Odyssey.
Yeah, man. Odyssey. What is it? It's funny because it's like 2000.
Nice van, right?
What? It's a van. It's the
nice
love
van,
machine.
right?
I told the guys it was the new creeper van. It's not like a white Chevy, all white van. It's it's the Honda Touring, but it's something like 20.
Touring, nice.
I think it's like a 2017 or something. It's only got 30,000 miles on it. I mean, it's
nice. What color is it? I hope it's like the brown color.
They're all that brown sand. They're all that.
They're all the same color.
Metallic. They're all that color. So I told everybody. Everybody comes out and says, "Where's the tool truck?" And I said, "I'm in the creeper van." And they're like, "Then they're like, I don't see a white van. It's bad enough it's got it labeled now." And I said, "No, this is the new generation creeper van." So
that's funny.
So you open up, and like I said, by the time you open everything up, it's doors kick back. You hit the button on the remote. The back tailgate kicks up. All the doors open. I got filled the
welcome to the tools. Everything opens up.
Yeah, I feel like one of those guys that go down to the Carolinas to the. I don't know what that warehouse is, but they load up and drive around trying to sell tools out of the back of a pickup truck. You're
going to be putting shocks and struts in that van before you give it back.
I'm trying. I'm just hoping I'm supposed to be getting a tool cart here real soon, and I don't really have a place to put it now. And I don't know how well it's going to go over when I roll that thing through the front door and put it in the hallway. So
yeah. Well,
so you could fit it in the van. You fold the rear seat down. You take the other. She probably has the whole second row in, right?
No. Well, that was taken out. Like I said, this has the two captain's chairs in the in the front, and the other two in the back fold down. But the third row is empty. They never had a seat for that, or I don't know what my dad did with them because they're out.
No, the third row is in mine because we have a 14. The third row folds down flat.
Okay, well they're folded down, and then he has the two that are like captain's chairs. You can either slide them together or slide them apart.
Yep. And then there's supposed to be a centerpiece. There's supposed to be like a little centerpiece that you can get to. Right? We've taken that out.
I don't know what happened
in the garage.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
But you could take those. Then you could take those seats out too, and then you have all that room.
Yeah, I got a work table in the back of it right now. We got one of our new work tables. So Hopefully, I sell that tomorrow. So
Yeah, I want to get the second row seats out of that thing because it has 2 armrests, right? And then it has a seatbelt attached to the seat. And put that in my RV. And put that in the RV. Because then I'll have the seatbelt and I'll have 2 armrests.
So
easy.
Oh, that's what happened. Vince got knocked out too because he says he's still backstage.
Yeah.
But you can't bring anybody in. Same with Coach. My ACs have been out for 2 days. Ugh.
Coaches. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I'm on a guest list just like you guys this week.
Oh, yeah.
So it was funny, you'd like this, Keith. Coming up 81 this morning, I get behind a guy with a big Chevy dually, and he's pulling an Airstream. I was like, man, those things look so cool on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, nice polished aluminum.
Oh yeah, very nice.
There used to be a place down here, and it was an Airstream dealer. It was a little dealer, and they had a whole bunch of old Airstreams stuck in the ground, like nose in.
Oh yeah.
And like Cadillac Ranch, right? So I had them jammed in there.
Ray's gone.
Oh, I'll keep telling the story. And they expanded the dealership, and they got rid of all that stuff. It was like an icon. You drive by, you're like, oh yeah, we drove. Now it's just
they had the airplanes.
Dealer. No,
the
the trailers, the Airstream trailers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they just had them smashed right into the ground. They had maybe 10 of them.
Wow.
It was actually on I think it was on that show with Jared. Carfix. It was on Carfix one time.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember seeing that with the trailers.
Yeah, it was like a icon thing that you would know. Okay, we're passing this place, with the trailers, and they got rid of it. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then
I would
get in.
Huh?
So now that means Ray's probably backstage and he can't get back in.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I don't know, man.
Someone's getting.
Is that right? Yep.
What do you say? I got
yep,
dropped.
Because I switched screens and got kicked out too.
So is he backstage or is he just kicked out? We don't know.
He's kicked out, I guess. Are you backstage or just?
Let's see. It's Isaac and.
Coach is back there, and
Zappa.
And
It's Vince.
Yeah.
It's Vince. Zappa is Vince.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yep. Oh well.
Yeah, it sucks when you're AC, man. I tell you. I've been holding my breath. Nah, Ray's totally out.
Oh. I'm doing my future son-in-law was he goes, I need AC in my car. He goes, what should I do? It's a 2010 Acura, like TSX, I think. And I'm like, I don't know. He didn't know what was wrong with it, and I don't really care what was wrong with it. But he went to a AC place, and they said, oh, it's a compressor, and you need a condenser because the compressor shot, throws crap, right? And I explained it to him, and I go, well, how much is it? He says it's like $2,000. I'm like, do you have $2,000? He goes, no. I go, well, we could do it at my house. So I'm just gonna replace everything. So to get all the clean lines out, put a new. Actually, just do the 2 things: change the compressor and the condenser, blow the lines out. I'll spray some. I think I might even have AC cleaner. There's like some spray you put in there. Put that in there and blow through the lines, and it's like the parts were like $500. And he goes, "What? That's it?" Because he's used to just paying to get it done. I'm like, yeah. What do you think I freaking do everything myself for? I'm not gonna go pay $2,000 to get my AC fixed for a compressor, and plus it rack up the price on the compressor. The compressor, I think he bought was like $300. I told him, you know, you can get like a really cheap one. I go, we're not going to do this again. Get this, probably like a Denso or something like that, whatever the OEM compressor was. So we got that, and it should be fine once we do it. But we're going to do it this weekend. And he goes, how long is it going to take? I'm like, I don't know. We've never done it before.
Yeah.
Like, look, it's not going to take more than a day, so just plan the whole day. we'll do it. So
see what
happens.
Excitement.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm doing all repairs funny. Though. I want to do other stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I can't remember. Well, I know for one thing, like when my dad, he had a Volkswagen, and the valve train got eaten out of it, you know. And I told him, I said, hey, when they're at the repair shop and they're putting this motor in, be very firm on replacing the turbo, because they're just going to unbolt it and put it in on the car. And he goes, why? And I said, well, the turbo is probably filled with metal, you know, before when it came apart and all that stuff. And I've seen so many times, like AC stuff, they replace AC on a car, especially a car, is in self-destruct mode from day one.
The whole time. Yeah.
The whole time. I mean, it's coming apart, you know, and they just throw on a new component. They don't blow it out. They don't blow that stuff out. And man, you're just, you know, you're just adding the metal right back in before you even get started, you know?
Yeah. This is when I decided to start doing my own stuff and just replacing all the crap, because it's cheaper than having them do it. On my HHR, the AC stopped working, brought it there. The guy's like, oh, you need a new compressor. I go, all right. Yeah, oh no, you know what it was? It wasn't cooling as well as it should, so the compressor wasn't totally shot. He's like, you need a new compressor. I go, all right, what else? He goes, no, that's it, just the compressor. I go, so you're just gonna put a compressor in? He goes, yeah. I go, what about the orifice tube and all the stuff that's in the condenser and all that? He goes, oh yeah, we'll clean that out before. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I'll think about it. But he wasn't gonna change the orifice tube. I did everything. I pulled the orifice tube out. It's totally clogged up. Had old metal inside of it.
Yeah.
Like actual pieces. I'm like, well, good thing I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, it would have just went right into there and then ruined my new compressor.
Yep.
I was like, geez.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, it's kind of funny because the guy that I learned from when I was starting out, I started turning wrenches very young, and the guy I learned with, I thought it was always amazing because, you know, you get like, remember the old caravans? Yeah, a Dodge Caravan coming in, you know, and they'll say, oh, I need Freon again. You know, every year I got to put Freon in. Every year I got to put Freon in. Yeah. And the guy I worked with, Ruben, was a really good guy. And he's like, he said, drain it down. And he said, crack the very bottom line going into because the compressor was all the way at the very bottom. He said, crack the line going to the compressor and let the oil run out for a while. And what was happening is, because every time somebody put Freon in, they'd put 2 ounces of...
Oh, they kept putting oil in?
Yeah. So eventually it was so much oil in the bottom of the condenser,
it
couldn't do what it was supposed to do. I mean, it was really never a problem. It's just that they, you know, when the manufacturer says this system needs, 8 ounces of oil to operate, and by the time, by the 8th time of putting 8 years later, right, 2 ounces at a time. Well, we'll put some dye in it to see if we never found a leak, but we'll just keep adding dye to it.
Keep adding dye.
That, they, end up with another 50 ounces of oil in it, and they'd have problems. And this new stuff is even worse. The 1234YF, the system itself is only works on 0.6 of an ounce, very little of that Freon. Wow. And everybody wants to add oil. I had a guy yesterday goes, I said, what year's the car? He goes, it's brand new. And I said, you want to add more? Don't add any more oil. Because the oil doesn't compress. Oil isn't going to cool. You know, you need the gas.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, you got to put oil in it because, you know, we got to find the leak next time. I said, dude, don't add any more oil. But I guess that's job security, right?
I mean, 0.6 of an ounce? That's like a couple of drops.
Whatever. It's very low.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the old system would take 3, and I think the new system, like, it depends on the car. Hybrids are terrible. Hybrids, you got to be really careful because, you know, they have their oil is different and you can't mix it. You got to make sure you have the right. There's actually 2 different oils for hybrids, and you got to be careful because if you use the wrong oil and there's electrical short, it's flammable. That's why you have to the pack. It's pack oil. There's 2 different oils. There's actually 2 different ones for hybrids. You got to be careful.
Hell's a new Freon is.
Yeah. The 1, 2, 3, 4 YF is flammable. I still can't believe
this is PAG 46. I think that's what's supposed to go in there.
Yeah, there's, like I said, there's 2 different ones. There's 2 different ones for hybrids. There's a wet oil and a dry oil. I don't know what it is really. But there is 2 different oils.
Yeah.
And I still like the one bottle. You know how it's like that bright yellow color? You know, it's like the neon there.
Neon color, yeah.
Yeah, and there's one that's a little darker. And of course, I like the one that does both, and it looks like black oil you're pulling in. And I don't understand how it could do both, but, you know, again, I guess they mix the 2 colors. I'm not an expert. I'm just the guy that drives around with the monkey on my back. So,
hey guys, I'm gonna hop off. I gotta.
All right, Bill. Be talking to you. I know some of the guys get bored listening to that. That's that geek talk that we had, but that's the world we live in.
So yeah, hey, it was really good seeing everybody again. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I want to tell Coach High over here too. Haven't had a chance to talk to him in a long time.
Vincent, that's Vincent. Don't forget the filter dryer. Yeah, they put the dryer on the side of the condenser. There's a little, you know, in the old days it used to be like the little cartridge thing. Now
some of the cars actually it's made in the condenser, so you can't replace. You got to replace the condenser.
Yeah. So the one I can't remember which car it was. The condenser had 2 tubes along the side.
Right.
You got the fins and all that, right? Yeah. And then the one side had, because I'm like, what is this? There was an Allen, whatever size Allen, big size. Yeah. I'm like, what's this? And I started taking it out. I'm like, oh, what the heck is this thing? I apply. I go, oh, and that thing was dirty. That thing had metal particles in it. I go, oh, this is the filter.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, because I bought like separate parts. I was like, what the?
Some of them you can't, you know, you can't take them off. Part of the unit or whatever. So you got to replace the whole thing versus just replacing the receiver dryer.
Right. If the government had their way, we wouldn't have air conditionings at all.
No.
Because they don't like them.
They do everything to not get us them. Let us have them.
Yeah, so, but it's, like I said, sometimes they take the simplest thing and make it so complicated, you know, and then you got some stuff that still at least halfway decent or, you know, like I said, sometimes they over-engineer. Over-engineering is the death of us for sure, I think.
Yeah.
So...
I'd still like to know how they decided Freon was so bad for the atmosphere. You know, how does it...
There's a hole. Remember the ozone?
And you can't find that hole
and they just,
half the time.
And they just blamed it on it.
Yeah.
And Aquanet.
Yeah. Yeah, damn 80s. All those people want all the hairspray.
Yeah. All the hairspray made a hole in the ozone.
Yeah. I've read about that ozone hole. It opens and closes.
Yeah.
No. Shrinks and expands.
You got that silly talk. Papa Squirrel. You got that silly talk.
We Yeah, we can control all the environment. We can control the weather, everything. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just by stuff that we do. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, now everybody's gonna be pissed off because now they're using CO2 for air conditioning. That's gonna be the next phase. So it's gonna be really bad because the way that our system is made now, we don't carry, we don't have to carry parts, our service parts, for so long anymore. It used to be 10 years or whatever. So now that we don't have that, so now they don't have to manufacture, so they don't have this cost. So when they finally get over to using CO or whatever the next stuff is,
to just stop making the other stuff.
They're going to stop making. So you're going to have all these cars out here now that there's going to be no parts for. And that's the 1234YF is so damn expensive that trying to find it, I think what was it? Like 134, they sell it in a 30-pound tank. It's a 30-pound tank. And 123YF, they only sell it in, I think, a 5 or a 10-pound tank. That's how much of a difference, and it's like 3 times the cost compared to the 123 versus 134. So, like I said, if you have it today, in 5 years and you have a problem, you better hope you can find stuff, or I'd be able to afford Freon.
Yeah, we got to go hoard it all right now. Like people still sell R12. I found this can sitting on a shelf.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
It's the same. So I found a figure that shows the sizes of the ozone hole from 1979 to 2024. So 2024, it's whatever. It's pretty much been the same since 87. Oh, it's because we stopped doing stuff and it just stayed the same. That's probably why. Yeah. That's probably what happened. 1979 was no hole. Anyway, Oh, do you ever get like used AC machines?
Usually, most of the used AC machines are completely trashed.
Oh, okay. So if I see one online, I probably shouldn't get it.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful because a lot of times, either they can't, if it needs a pump or it needs something, they can't find the parts to fix it.
Oh.
So you have to. I kind of just tossed. I had a couple of older AC machines, but they just needed so much work. I mean, the only reason why they traded it in because it needed it had a problem.
Yeah, and that's probably why these people are selling them on Facebook, because there's a problem with it.
Yeah, and so that's the only problem. Most of them need work and trying to find. If you get like some of the Robinair stuff, you can still find parts for. Master Cool, a lot. I don't know when exactly. It was Master Cool, Robinair, and there was one more, but they ended up being bought out by one company.
Okay.
And so then that company does what every other company does. They take the best from each machine to make a new machine, and everything else is kicked to the wayside.
Yeah.
So, you have to be really careful with the AC.
I'm amazed they still let us work on
working
anything.
needs service.
Well, it's actually kind of funny. I don't have my wallet with me, but way, way back, we're going back in the time machine. ASC, one of these things was you had to be a certified AC, to work on AC, you had to be certified. You had to take this test, and nobody would sell you AC stuff. And it was like, 10 questions. It cost $49.95. And you got this little card that when you went to the auto parts store, you were supposed to show that you could buy refrigerant. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I've ever showed anybody that refrigerant when I bought refrigerant. But it was a whole, you had to be certified to handle it, you know.
I remember
Yeah,
that one.
I got that card. I have that card somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Oh,
funny.
where the heck?
It was like 10 to 15 questions, and they talked about, you know, if you didn't handle it right, you'd kill the dinosaurs, or this is why the dinosaurs were killed. I don't know, dude. And you had plans.
Yeah.
It was
Like
like everything else. It was comical. It was money driven. I gotta watch myself. We're still alive. We're still alive.
We're going to be live the whole
You
time.
know, we killed the dinosaurs
We
killed them.
because we evolved.
Yeah.
And we sent a thing back in time and poisoned them.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
We're trying to go back in time. I don't even have to go back in time that far. Just need to go back, like, when was Bitcoin invented? That's when I have to go back in time.
Did you hear where that guy finally gave up looking for his Bitcoin, his computer with the Bitcoin?
Yeah,
thing?
he's like looking at garbage
After
dumps.
12 years, he finally gave up.
Yeah, but he had, how many did he have?
I don't know. He had a lot.
He had, I mean, each one, even if he had 3, that's $300,000, you know, whatever.
Yeah, he had a, I think it was somewhere in $1 billion. He had a,
Well, it was
somewhere in $1 billion of, and he couldn't get the I guess the password
hard drive
he forgot, or
I don't know.
something changed and he didn't have the password and couldn't link. I don't know, man. But he finally gave up after there was a thing in the paper I read on the thing. He finally gave up after 12 years of trying.
Yeah.
I don't understand Bitcoin, but I know if I had any, I'd be making damn sure I knew where everything was, all my passwords, and anything else. Because, you know,
well,
I don't like losing money.
Yeah, well, back then you had to do like you had to have a wallet and transfer it to a wallet. It was a big pain in the neck to buy Bitcoin. Now you just go on Robinhood or PayPal even, and you can just buy Bitcoin. You could buy. Well, you could buy if you have enough money. You could buy 1 Bitcoin, but you could buy a part of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's Mattel did the thing with the digital cars. And I got tangled up, and I don't, and like I said, of course now they've gotten away from it. And like I said, I have this digital wallet that I don't even know how to get to or what to do, and I'm like, dude, it's not that it's a lot of money, but it's like, dude, this whole not being a cashless world or whatever, a society thing, it's kind of scary because you have, no idea. It's gone. And I love, you're right, Coach. It was the cow farts that killed the dinosaurs. That's he wrote over there. So got to watch out. Watch out for those cow farts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cow
farts. I don't know.
What
It's
else
hard to
is he
imagine.
saying?
It's hard to imagine where we're at. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Coach is talking about all the ozone layer from before.
Yeah.
Refrigerant called Hot Shot.
I've heard.
Yeah,
of it,
I've got some of that, and I've got some old R12. I got R12, a Hot Shot, and
Freon.com. This is R what? Oh, this is Freon Hot Shot 2. It's R417. I don't know if this is it. This isn't it. Oh, yep.
Well, see, I've always wondered about air conditioning anyway, because, you can't create or destroy energy. So how in the hell do you take something and cool the air off, and then put it out there.
Since
Hot air out the back,
Yeah.
and not upset things.
Since Ray's not here, I'll be the guy that pulls it out. So I've got some stuff here called Glacier.
Glacier. Okay.
Okay, and
Refrigerant
that's
12.
it's a R12
Yeah.
supplement or replacement, and then I've got the classic R12.
Real R12. Oh, CRC R12. Huh.
Yeah, from CRC R12.
Yeah.
And I've got some of that Hot Shot stuff, and I can't remember. I've got a couple of. I can't remember who it's from, but I got some other stuff that's R12. You know, it's R12 label.
I was trying to get that stuff you get at Home Depot. That was a Blue Rhino. I'm gonna put some of that stuff in my AC. That'll work.
And I've got
Hopefully it don't
somewhere.
crash.
I've got somewhere, but I've got R22, and that was what the house used to take.
Yeah, the old
And it
AC.
was like 6. It was like this, you know, but it was like
Taller.
this is 12 ounce. I think it was 14 or 16. So it was like the tall boy beer, you know, a tall boy versus a pony. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and I know guys that ran R22 and R12 are very similar. So if you have a set of old AC gauges, you'll have depends on how old you are. I have a set of gauges that just has R22 and R12, and then I have another set of gauges